All right, we are back here. Afternoon competition, the first day of the 2013 PSP Dallas Open. I am Matty Marshall alongside Tom Martinez and Steve Rabikoff. This webcast brought to you by PaypalAccess.com. Again, I'd like to thank all of our great sponsors. Please show support by the people that are showing support to the game of paintball itself. Go to their websites, buy stuff from them. We need the industry to be healthy to continue to do this, and we need your help in doing that. So, amazing competition coming at you this afternoon. The very first game is going to be awesome, and it's Moscow Red Legion going to be taking on Edmonton Impact, and great stories from both of those two teams.
Yeah, I really can't wait to see what both of these teams have to offer this year. We got to see Impact at World Cup, and like we kind of figured, they got off to a little bit of a slow start, but then refigured it out again by the end of the event once it was too late. Moscow Red Legion, a solid team, always, no matter what players they got. They got some staples on that team that are just amazing, and Bierdnikov, Pantaleev, and Kirill, as you see them in their pit right now, or in their huddle. As they always do before the games, bring it up, get it together. But I mean, this this Moscow Red Legion team, just historically a strong team every year, good coaching staff, good organization. They always seem to put it together. So can't wait to see without some hired guns this year, so to say.
We're going to see what they've got. Back in Moscow in their stable, because their pickups this year, they lost some big players for them last year.
Yeah. So well, they lost their attackers on both the Snake and the Doritos side. They lost Marcelo Margat, who was the #1 player in the world heading into World Cup, and they lost Axel Godin, who goes back to the team he started with, the Tauntauns, who are coming, and we're going to see them play tomorrow. And man, that's a tough loss. Those are tough losses, because Axel played great and Marcelo played phenomenal. So, they replaced those with some new guys. They have Michael Kovar, who's going to be playing the first attacker, the one on the Snake side. Actually, well, we'll see. I mean, it's where everyone's playing. They're still trying to figure exactly where everyone's going to work out. Like, for instance, Jason Wheeler is going to be the one on the Dorito side, which will be interesting because, Wheeler played awesome. He was the Rookie of the Year. Wheeler was the Rookie of the Year last year. And he's going to be now the first attacker, the one on the Dorito side. You're looking at Edmonton Impact, who comes over. Man, and Edmonton, you talk about a stacked roster. I mean, wow. We talked about in the breakdown and also in the scouting reports leading up to this, is that if just half of Impact roster shows up playing a game, they're playing their best ball, they're going to contend, just half of them, because there's so much talent, so much depth on that team. And now the question is,
can they put it together?
Yeah,
how fast?
Exactly. How fast can they put it together, and who's going to start? Here we go. So the starting lineup for Impact was Moorhead, Justin Rabikoff, Zane Yakmak, Zach Yakmak, and Justin Cornell. And they have able to keep 5 alive off the break. But the Russians, looks like they lose team captain Kirill Bridney off that Dorito side.
Yeah, and it looked like Russian Legion was able to sneak out to that Snake side corner, and then Bierdnikov went up the middle and across, but he gets shot out of that mini race bunker on the Snake side.
Ooh, very quick point here for Edmonton Impact as they get a fast one on the board. Didn't even lose a body. And it looked like Moscow, once they started to lose those bodies, they just conceded the point. So that is not a good start for Moscow Red Legion as Impact goes up. The score is 1-0. We're going to be right back after this.
ANSgear.com has the world's largest inventory of paintball equipment, including guns, masks, loaders, paintballs, tanks, and clothing. With free shipping on all orders over $100. Shop now at ANSgear.com.
Here we are, a little outside of Dallas, Texas for the season opener as Impact playing their first game of the season against Moscow Red Legion. And man, Moscow Red Legion again had to rebuild their team, but they've always been able to weather any sort of roster storm, anything that happened to them, they've always been able to take care of that. So I'm expecting that they're going to probably have a pretty good year. They do every year, and no matter what happens to them.
Great foundation, great coaching staff, solid players, and now can they put those guys in those key spots now? That's going to be the question we're all going to find out here right now and through the year.
Yeah, I mean.
But, real quick, the Russians, they build to perform at World Cup. They want to win every event, but they look at the season as how they get better through the season. They always have to win World Cup. That's the one they always go for.
You know, I never gotten to really pick anybody's brain from the Russians. You know, actually sit down, talk to anybody on the coaching staff, or even anybody that's, you know, the Americans that have played on that team. You know, you just get a lot of generalities like, oh, they got good structure and they do this well and they do that well, and you know, but not a whole lot of, you know, the real intricacies of that team and, you know, how they function, you know, why they do the things that they do. But saw Marcelo Margot, and he was like, everything I learned from the Russians, bring into the Ironman this year.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what he said. He literally said, he's like, man, I did learn a few tricks from them, which is pretty interesting that the Russians have, they can teach a guy like Marcelo Margot, who's played on Infamous, played on Ironman, won 2 championships, played under some of the best coaches out there, and still went to the Russians and learned a bunch and dominated with them and really reinvigorized his career. So, you know, super awesome job by Marcelo Margot last year. And actually, so what happened that last point? You know, we saw it looked like Moscow had blown that horn rather early to concede the point. They were losing bodies, but what happened was it was an inadvertent horn from Impact. So they're going to take 20 seconds off the clock and replay the point.
Do they take it off the players off the, do they take the players off the field? Why would you take off the point?
It's in the rule book.
It's in the rule.
Well, I guess, you know, Impact was the one. They were going to win the point. They were the ones that blew the horn. So, anyway,
okay.
Back at 0 again.
Hey, we get more points.
Yeah, we're winning, and then we blew the horn.
We'd also like to thank Extreme Pros Paintball for the match sponsor here. Go to extremeprospaintball.com. Got great gear on deals on gear. And they also are located in Garden Grove. So if you're in the Los Angeles area, definitely head out and support Extreme Pros. Again, extremeprospaintball.com, one of those good stores. You know, it's so important for the health of the industry that we have really awesome stores that people can go and, you know, like get serviced by professionals and get the best gear at the best, you know, prices possible. So, all right, so we're about 5 seconds away from the start of this first point. Here we go. Checking out on the split screen breakout. Edmonton Impact on the left-hand side of your screen and Legion on the right-hand side. And it looks like Ryan Moorhead getting shot off the break.
Ryan Moorhead going to be upset because he made it out there clean the first time, then gets shot on the break. Alexander Biernikov elects to hold back a little bit at this point and not go up that middle.
Ooh, Impact getting chewed up here in this point as Yakmek and Cornell come off. And then here comes Michael Kovar. Man, Kovar gets all the way past the 50-yard line, chews up Impact and takes out Justin Rabikoff as well. So, wow, Michael Kovar getting himself a 2-piece there at least.
Now you're wondering who did that inadvertent horn in there, because I'm sure they're mad about that because they had that last point dominated, and here comes Russians just completely blew them off the field here.
And it's kind of going to be I wouldn't say it's going to be tough for Impact, but if you're playing this Moscow team, you really don't know what sort of look they're going to see this year because they've lost some players and picked up some new ones and have a new coach. So kind of looking at a new Moscow Red Legion team, hard to scout. And we're going to be right back here with the second point of the game. Don't go anywhere.
Want to catch the best paintball videos on the web? Then tune in to paintballaccess.com. Fill your mind with compelling articles, player stats, and the best interviews in the business. And this season, paintballaccess.com has become even hotter with exclusive videos from the CXPL. The CXPL is easily Canada's largest tournament, featuring real X-ball with 15 balls per second and 25-minute halves. Drop by paintballaccess.com for exclusive footage from Canada's hottest tournament.
We are here in the Russian Legion pit, as you know, and they have one of the more calm. They have like the calmest pit in all of professional paintball. I always like to play with a little more energy and kind of like my guys to play with energy, but Legion has the complete opposite kind of argument on that subject, and they don't want any sort of emotion almost showing in their pits. And you know, the Russians are kind of a little bit more stoic.
I think that's the kind of way I was, you know, really mellow in the pits.
Yeah, okay.
You know, kind of stoic.
You never got crazy.
Not at all.
I try and keep it
and
really calm
water's
in the
not
pits.
wet, cheese isn't delicious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, all those sort of things. Todd, you hate cheese, right? You don't like that. You're not down with that pizza.
No. I don't eat pizza.
Yeah, it's calm and methodical. That's the style for sure.
That's the way we go around here.
All right, so the score 1-0. And in turn of events, you know, Edmonton Impact looked like they were about to win that first point, but then they inadvertently blew the horn. So kind of blew it for them. And now the momentum is all on now for Moscow Red Legion. Let's look at the D-side camera breakout. And then flip it back to the snake side. And There's your starting lineups. Impact on the right-hand side of your screen. Russian Legion left-hand side is Lukashek able to get into Snake 2. You know, and Todd, he's going to be able to probably, some of these other Russians we haven't heard a lot from are probably going to get a lot more playing time this year.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we saw guys last year like Yanishevsky, Lukashuk. You know, those guys got spins, you know. Golev had a good year the year before. Probably could have seen more out of him last year, but
towards the end of the year. He played good in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, but still a very skilled player, you know, so we'll see what those guys can bring. They're obviously going to get more opportunities this year. As you see Lukashuk on your screen right there right now, number 69 in Snake 2. For Moscow Red Legion, Justin Rabakov is in his mirror. That's on the Dorito side right now that you're looking at. That was Zakharov, one of the other players that we were talking about. Here's the Dorito side for Impact. That's Greg Sewers in Dorito 2. Behind him in Dorito 1, I think, is Zane Yakimak or Joshua Metz. And then Tim Montresor, who caught a bouncer in the leg off the break, is in that can. Lukashuk now backing up to Snake 1, looking to get a shot across the field, shooting at Joshua Metz in that corner. Justin Rabakov has the help.
Yeah, and you're looking at this from the Snake side here, Todd, and you can really see the two players in here in the Snake. And we've been seeing this all event long. And, you know, those guys, they have shots down the wire, but they really have to get up there and able to get those best shots and then shoot cross field once they get in there. But you see a lot of this looking towards the inside when they're in these spots. But in order for the back player, the insert player, to focus down that side, he's really going to have to get his guy up there and make those moves. And, you know, we're not really seeing a lot of aggression so far out of Moscow on the Snake side, Todd.
No, I mean, they got Bierdnikov. I mean, at the split second, he can make a move and break the game open. But, I mean, he's holding it down. He's letting Lukashuk do what he can from that Snake. You know, they don't want to lose bodies over here and give Justin Rabakov and Justin Cornell any sort of opportunities to double team them and gang up and try and push down this wire. You know, these teams have both watched games all morning, and they've seen how quickly games can break, you know, once you lose that body and have that advantage. So I'm sure both these teams, you know, smart players on both sides, you know, playing a little bit more cautious right now. I mean, this is the way Moscow Red Legion traditionally kind of plays anyway, but...
And you noticed going into that last match, the game started slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, and you're looking at the D-side cam right now. There's Kirill Pridny, team captain for Moscow Red Legion, leader on the team, longtime vet, and he is just hugging that bunker right now, trying to avoid getting pinched out of there. Now going to gun up down that Dorito side. You can see the paint, incoming streams coming through.
Oh, and Bierdnikov backs up and goes to the corner. Pantaleev got shot out of there pretty much on the break.
Oh, and here's some action coming down on the Dorito side as
Kirill just bunkered Greg Sewers right on top of his dome.
You know, one of the questions is, can Greg Sewers, who had a really breakout year for Infamous last season, coming now as one of those high-paid free agents coming in, trying to make his mark on Edmonton Impact, getting run down by Kirill. He was more of the aggressor on that side. And Todd, you know, you were the guy that gave him that chance over there, as you were the coach of Infamous last season.
And it looks like Zakharov was just shot by either Justin Cornell or Justin Rabakov. So here they're coming through the middle here, but don't get crazy with Bierdnikov back there. That guy pulls out many games.
Well, Bierdnikov, he was our Top Gun title holder from last season. You know, he was the #1 guy in the entire world last year, and just super consistent, and no shocker that he was the last guy left alive. Doesn't really die early very often.
Yeah, that game was opened up by the shot that Justin Rabakov put on the D-side player from Moscow Red Legion. Made that side of the field drop, then the Snake drop. Justin Rabakov the other pickup. You know, that's why you pay Justin Rabakov his money, close it out early, and we'll be right back after these messages.
One of the interesting stories from last season was Justin Rabakov not quite having the year everyone thought he was going to have, and then made a move over to Impact, coming off of Tampa Bay Damage, and he's playing the team right now that he became a real big paintball superstar with, was Moscow Red Legion. They gave him a ton of reps. He really performed and improved every season he was on that team, and becoming one of the preeminent guys in the league. And didn't have the year he wanted to have last year, and it's kind of lit a fire under him for this season. Now, Steve, and this is your son we're talking about, so if anyone knows the inside thoughts of Justin Rabakoff, it's you.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have the season he was expecting and wanted to have, and wanted to do more for the team. And as soon as the season ended, he got after it hard. He's been hitting it. He's been doing drills Monday through Friday. He's gotten kind of obsessive with it, but it bothered him. He didn't like the way he performed, and that's what you want out of any athlete, is to not accept mediocre.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like he didn't have a bad season.
He just didn't have the season we all expected.
Exactly. We expected him to be in the running for the Top Gun title, and he never was. And longer story, but Justin now playing really well for Impact as he got in that snake there, and now he's making moves trying to get, Rabakoff getting shot, trying to make that small bump over on the snake side. And here comes Michael Kovar. There's Rabakoff taking the walk. Check out Kovar in the snake, and there are the starting 5 lineups for both teams. Yeah,
Kovar got into the snake early because Dave Baines picked his gun up and put it on Yanishevsky running to the snake side corner. But Malloy again fills out. Alexander Bierdnikoff fills from that temple over to the corner.
And Ryan Moorhead going to town over on the Dorito side. 2 kills for him so far, and he's in the 50-yard line. And then countering that move is Michael Kovar, but he's going to have to drop a shot because that side's completely blown open. It's all Ryan Moorhead over there for Impact.
But Ryan doesn't know that Bierdnikoff is alive here. Oh, he does now.
Moorhead is just feasting over there on that Dorito side of the field, chalking up. Looks like he got
a 4-piece,
at least 2, possibly 3. I don't know. We're waiting for the info to come in. For sure, 2 kills. And it looks like he got himself a 4-pack there. So, wow, Ryan Moorhead just stepping it up. And Ryan Moorhead was one of those players who defined what it was like to play, or what you should be doing on the Dorito side of the field as far as an aggressive attacker is concerned. That one that we always talk about. That was Ryan. He was the quintessential Dorito side attacker, and really showing everyone else how it's done. And we're going to be right back here. The score, Impact 2, and Moscow Red Legion 1 will be right. Here we go inside the pits of Edmonton Impact. And, well, they're getting it done out there. We still got ourselves a close match, but that's one of the things about Edmonton Impact is, Ryan Moorhead, he goes out there, scores himself 4 kills, and then Justin Rabakoff had stepped up the point before that to get him on the board. And that's what they needed. They need each one of their guys individually, and then Rabakoff goes out and catches one that next point, but then Moorhead steps up. And because of the depth of Impact, if we start seeing that, if we start seeing guys taking it upon themselves to put the team on their back individually out there during those points, it's going to be scary for the rest of the teams.
We haven't even got, again, you got Justin Cornell on that snake side with Justin so far that we've seen. So Craig Sewers, Ryan Moorhead on the Dorito side, it looks early on. So you pay Dave Baines to shoot people in the center.
That's what you pay Dave Baines for.
Yeah, that's why you pay Dave Baines' money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, to shoot people out of that center.
You got the Yakimak brothers out there. So this, like you said, it's a solid lineup, and after World Cup, they want to come out and prove themselves as well.
Well, we haven't, exactly. Well, we haven't seen much of Dave Baines yet. Have we seen Dave Baines play?
Yeah,
just one, last point, yeah. Tim Montresor, the second time he's gotten bounced going to that can on the Dorito side.
Yeah, that's
able to keep all 5 bodies alive.
Chad, you were talking about that shot last game, and that's one of those ones we're starting to see develop. As the tournament progresses, as Justin Cornell gets shot trying to make it into the snake for Impact, as the tournament progresses, you're going to start to see certain particular lanes get picked up if they're effective, and that's one of those shots directly back into that stand-up stand-up can on the Dorito side of the field.
Well, that's the thing is right now people are going into it standing up, shooting across the field. I'm sure by Sunday you're going to have to dive into that spot.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the same shots, which is going to free up players on the snake side to make bigger moves.
And here we go as Moscow able to get into Snake 1. And it's, look at this, Malloy, man, he can play anywhere. So our Top Gun title holder, best player of last season, is now wrecking shop over here on the Snake side of the field. He's got a back player. And here comes Malloy, and Malloy, though, oh, I don't know about that move. Kind of threw his body where being a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, he didn't see, I think it's Joshua Met bumped up into that Dorito 3, and Biernikov didn't see him. But he was actually able still to take out Zach Yakimek down here on the Snake side. So the whole Snake side of the field is open for impact. But Tim Montresor comes back around. Pantaleev trying to fight out of the Snake corner for Moscow against two bodies.
And there's a
Joshua Met and Tim Montresor.
A long time, a lot of experience there. So
yeah, tough one though. I mean, that corner, you like it because it's a stand-up, and it's in the corner. And if a player takes a bad angle at you coming in, like take a bad angle coming down the wire, then it's easier to play. But a smart player like Tim Montresor spreads out the field as soon as the focus from Pantaleev shifted to Joshua Met, and then Tim Montresor was able to move up the field once he got Pantaleev's attention and allowed Joshua Met to pinch him out.
And Met had a great point there. And just like we talked about the point before, it's going to be really rough on the opposing teams if they have their role players get out there and start to contribute as well. So if you got Met playing some awesome ball, I mean, we haven't really said his name much in all the craziness of the offseason because they picked up all those stars. But man, if you get him out there doing all that, doing some work, wow, if they have those guys stepping up too, Impact's going to be a tough team to beat.
Yeah, well, Met's one of those guys that is always solid. He's really good. And, I mean, he was their top, one or two players, for a long time with Justin Cornell. And, I feel bad because we don't talk about him that much, but he's still there. He's been there for a long time. He's super solid, and he does deserve to get more praise than he does.
He does his job.
Yeah, so here we go. Edmonton Impact 3, Legion 1, and we'll be right back. Here we go, first event of the PSP season here, a little outside of Dallas, Texas at Cousins Paintball. Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez and Steve Rabikoff, and you're watching Edmonton Impact taking it to Moscow Red Legion. Right now the score is 3-1. 11 minutes and 58 seconds remaining here, and we've seen a lot of this so far in the matches this morning. Really quick points, allowing a lot of time left for teams to come back. So we've also seen some upsets so far as CEP beat a very good San Antonio X Factor. So who knows, they could be in the hunt this year. And we're going to be finding out as the tournament progresses who are going to be our champion teams for this season and who are going to be the challenger teams. So we have 2 pro brackets now here in the PSP.
Yeah, Legion taking on Aftershock later today. Impact taking on Vicious after the Damage Shock game, which is coming up next. And every game matters. So Moscow Red Legion spreads it out wide. They go 3 hard to the Dorito side, 1 up the middle, and they keep taking that Snake side corner. They've gotten shot a couple times going there. I'm looking on the camera right now. That is number 90, one of the new players, Kevin Colm.
And he, he's coming out of Icon, out of France. And he's one of the new pickups, and I've heard good things about him. He's supposed to be real aggressive and can get it done. So, now he's finally getting a chance out there. And
Kirill just went through that middle of the field feasting. Got shot 1, shot Dave Baines, forced Justin Rabikoff's hand, and that is going to allow Pantaleev and the rest of Moscow Red Legion to come down, put another point on the board. So, good game-breaking move right there by Kirill.
And Legion needs that. With the way that the team looks this year and the change in their head coach, Wheeler moving over to the Dorito side, what Moscow really needs is they need those guys they know they can count on, who they've counted on in the past, who are their standout players, to step up. They're going to need Kirill to play awesome. They need the best player in the world from last year in order to step up too. And that's what we saw that last point. So it's good for Moscow Red Legion fans out there when you start to see, you know, Alexander Burnikov and Kirill Peredny start to get their legs underneath them. And we're going to be right back after this. Got ourselves a really close match all of a sudden. Legion and Impact score 2 with Legion and 3 with Impact. Still over 10 minutes to play here. And both these teams, you know, it's funny. We haven't really seen any teams other than CP beating the brakes off of San Antonio X Factor. No one's really, I'd say, shocked us. But we are seeing a lot of solid paintball out here. We haven't seen anybody really truly transcend and elevate yet. Other than Konstantin Fedorov. Konstantin Fedorov coming in with that just completely ridiculous 16 kills, man. I mean,
just went
off.
Just
like, went off.
Off.
I'm gonna go crazy this game, guys. Just work with me, and imagine if he didn't have that. Well, if we only shot 8 people, what if they won? I mean, like he shot 16 and they won by 1.
Yeah. Oh, and you know who else we have to give a shout out to as far as playing well? Robbie Goldsmith, man. Robbie Goldsmith was getting kills out there. He was getting it done. His team beat X Factor. Wow. CEP came to play paintball this year.
And down to the snake corner again. Russian Legion, but quickly turns the corner, comes inside, tries to go up. I believe it's Michael Kovar, but he gets shot, so he's going to be the first one down for Moscow Red Legion. And all 5 bodies I still see there. Oh, another. I think that's Bierdnikov. Looked like he might have taken one filling out. Nope, he's alive. Ref calls him clean. Justin Rabakov now into Snake 2 for Edmonton Impact, and he's got help behind him in that corner. Tim Montresor in the stand-up can on the Dorito side of the field.
Both teams looking good in good field position right now. Both teams have the Snake, though Justin Rabakov is in better field position. Nope, now finally Lukashuk able to get in there to Snake 1 as well, and now you're looking at the Dorito side. Look at this ladder on the Dorito side, man. All of these bunkers are so close to each other, and that's why that side of the field is playing so fast. And right now you got really good field position to attack over there for Impact, as they also have a player here. 2 guys right next to each other. Impact's looking good over there on the Dorito side.
Yeah, Impact protecting their players, playing good team paintball.
Now look at this though, Todd. Now on the flip side, Moscow Red Legion, they only got 1 guy over here, 1 player over here, and he is at the second Dorito on that side. And if you see, there's no one up in this, there's no one up there. No one else is really up there attacking for Moscow, so they're kind of playing on their heels on that Dorito side.
And Justin gets taken out here in the Snake, so that's a big elimination for them. For Moscow, I think he got shot by Dorito 1 possibly.
Oh, yeah, so it looks like, did he catch one in the bunker, or was he trying to make a move?
Well, him and Burnikov shot him, and he got shot, so little trade action there, but that's a good elimination for both.
Yeah, Bierdnikov walking off is huge. You know, he was the 1 player behind Lukashuk. Yep. Lucky for him, Justin Rabakov left too. So now I believe it's just Zach Yakimek in that Snake side corner, and Lukashuk still in control of the Snake. Lukashuk's the one that needs to make the move, as he finally does now, on into the 50 Snake. He needs to turn and get those shots. Tim Montresor focusing on him. Zach Yakimek focused across the field, checking the wire again right now. There's Lukashuk, you can see, putting paint back at Yakimek. Lukashuk. The ball is in his court right now. Doesn't want to give his body away, but he is in really good field position.
He's in good field position. That spot, that Dorito 3 or Snake 3 is really tough to play. It's tight in there, especially if you're getting shot at cross field. But he's playing really solid in there right now. You can see him nodding his head, and he's taking some heat cross field. Now look at this lane coming in here cross field from Edmonton Impact on that Dorito side of the field, and you see. You have the farthest guy out trying to keep the Snake honest, and then his players trying to keep everyone honest on this Dorito side. But that is a defensive posture right there, Todd.
Yeah, it is. I mean, 2 players on 2 players on the Dorito side. Well, actually 3 players for Impact if you include Tim Montresor in that can. His main focus has really been on Lukashuk.
Should be to stay in the Snake. If he takes his gun off like he's doing now and he starts creeping around, he'll be taking a hit.
And there goes Tim Montresor.
Surprising he completely left. Like, Lukashuk figures out, his coaches let him know it's just him solo over here.
Yeah, this is the opportunity that Lukashuk needs to take.
Sneaks around. He shoots the tower. That's a game changer right there.
Yeah, if he can just get one body off that side, it'll free him up. Now he's got a clear shot on the 50 Dorito if he can turn the corner, which he does now.
Oh, and he
gets annihilated. I think Sewers knew that shot was there, just waited for him to pop up and made Lukashuk wear it.
Look at Tim Montresor coming across the snake side knowing that, hey, it's wide open now, let me go to work.
Oh, but Tim catches one too, and now
Jason Wheeler gets one as well. So,
you know, we haven't. Jason,
I haven't said his name
I was going to say we haven't been talking about Jason much. Oh, and Moscow also losing. Kevin gets shot out of there as well. So, you know, unfortunately for Moscow, they looked really good. They had good field position. They had Impact playing on their heels, but Lukashuk getting shot out of that spot. As soon as that happened, that's when the curtain started to fall on that point for Moscow, and everyone dying out of their bunkers. So lots of balls being dropped on Moscow Red Legion, and Edmonton Impact is going to go up 4-2 here. 6 minutes, 34 seconds left. Slowest playing game we've seen so far at this event. We're going to be right back. Looking at Edmonton Impact getting ready to roll. Justin Rabikoff is getting a lot of reps for them. They're really putting him out there a lot. And I think Justin needs that. He needs to be, you know, knowing him for all these years and seeing him grow up, he's the type of guy that as a player, you want to, and Todd, you would probably coach Justin pretty well because you're the type of guy that's like, look, you're going to be my guy on this side. I'm going to get you a lot of reps, but you got to help me help you. You need, when you get out there, you need to contribute. They're running Justin a lot, which means they have faith in his ability over there, and this is where Justin became paintball famous, is getting tons of reps on that snake side of the field.
You know, Justin Rabikoff has always had the benefit of playing with really good players as well. You know, when he was dominating with Russian Legion, he had Konstantin Fedorov as his right-hand man. Here on Edmonton Impact, I mean, it's really hard to ask for a better compliment than Justin Cornell. Yeah. You know, I mean, because either one could be first, either one could play second. They're both really good talkers. They're both really intelligent, just
good,
very
high paintball IQ,
players. You know,
situational awareness. They've both got great situational awareness here. Now Impact on this split screen breakout. Impact doubling up that can over there on the Dorito side, and here comes Moscow Red Legion. Is that Jason Wheeler?
No, I think it's Kirill.
Yeah, Kirill all the way to the 40-yard line for Impact.
And I don't know what Impact has done on this snake corner, but they've shot that snake corner pretty much every game, Todd.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was Dave Baines who shot him going out there. I mean, if you give Dave Baines a straight-up run in the lane, shooting across his body, I mean, I've been there plenty of times just watching him do it. I mean, he's so good at that shot. I mean, just shooting people on the break in general. But, I mean, Red Legion, you've lost the guy going to that corner 3 times. Probably stop sending him there.
Yeah.
Probably stop trying to fill it right away because there's a guy in a can on the Dorito side pumping that lane.
Because that corner, yeah, like I think they found that shot on that corner.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're giving it to him right now, the Russian Legion is.
All right, and we're going to be right back after this.
While you are sitting at home, Storm, Bloom, and Houston Heat are here in Dallas, wearing Raza.
So it was a close game, but Edmonton Impact is starting to run away with it because they are starting to really destroy Moscow Red Legion off the break. They're starting to find those shots. They're starting to speed up the points, and I think they're starting to kind of get in a groove. And that, again, is bad news for the rest of the league because Impact has such big depth or deep depth on their squad. You know, you got guys like Wamed out there playing well. If the two Justins Justin Squared over here on the Snake side of the field. If both those guys are playing well, Moorhead's had a couple points. Just Dave Baines has been slaughtering people off the break. That's scary. If you're Heat, if you're any of the other top teams, Damage, we're going to see Damage as well later on this afternoon. In fact, they're coming up next. So after the conclusion of this game, it's going to be Chicago Aftershock and Tampa Bay Damage taking the field for the first time here in 2013 in our season opener. But Moscow, man, they have got to make a few adjustments here, because whatever they've done for the past couple points has not been working, just catching paintballs off the break.
Oh, well, Pantaleev runs to the corner again.
Let's see, did he get bounced?
And gets shot in the pec. Well, I mean, if you're going to give up a free body every point, or every game, then yeah, you're really making it easy on Impact over here. The toughest games they had was when Kovar went straight in and then had protection right behind him in Biernikov. Haven't really seen that from him
now
again.
The Snake is wide open. Justin Cornell, look for him to do work now.
Yeah, Justin Cornell is about to rip somebody's back to
and if you look at this, on this overhead shot right here, we got a guy here and a guy here for Edmonton Impact. Actually, they're doubling up this punk right here. I was going to say they need to launch. But when they're up this many points with only 5 minutes left, well, there we go. There's some smart, crisp moves coming around the Dorito side. And Justin Cornell is searching for shots, and that is going to do it. So, wow, Impact they're starting to find it. They really are starting to find it. And, Impact's had some really good practice sessions leading up to this event. And as they took on San Diego Dynasty in a real big practice down at Camp Pendleton, which is awesome field to play, man. They had over 300 people out just on the tournament side of things. So, it's really looking like paintball's healthy down there in Southern California. And they've got a really good scrimmage in against Dynasty.
And then they had a practice this last weekend down in Houston at Legends Paintball against Houston Heat for 3 or 4 days, and then they practiced the Ironman yesterday. So they're trying to get different looks, they said.
And it'll be interesting because they beat up the Ironman pretty solidly in the morning at practice, and the Ironmen have been looking so good in the practices leading up. So we're going to see them tomorrow, and we're going to be right back. Do not go anywhere.
Hey, what's up? This is Jason Wheeler with Russian Legion. So what makes the Virtua Spy the best loader in paintball? The Spy is tough and reliable. If you've ever on the field and get shot by a 12-gauge shotgun, you're screwed, but your Spy will keep working. Find out more at virtuaspy.com.
Edmonton Impact 1 point away from victory here in their first game of the year, taking on Moscow Red Legion, who really didn't look bad in the beginning of this game. It was a neck-and-neck game for a little bit, but Impact, after the first couple points, has just really locked it in, locking in those lanes off the break, destroying the Russians at the beginning of the points, and Legion just has not been able to adjust to really counter anything that Impact is doing right now.
And like Todd said, if they're just going to keep giving a free kill every point, they're going to this corner. They've been shot, I think, 4 in a row.
Yeah, let's check out this replay here. And there you're checking out Impact finishing off that point on the Dorito side from our eye in the sky. And I think that Impact they're playing good aggressive paintball, but they're also playing good counterpunch paintball, because anytime things start to get a little crazy, somebody pulls off something. And that's what you want to see if you're an Impact fan.
A lot of guys on Impact have a lot of experience. They've been in these games. You lose a body, they don't freak out. We're in the second half of the first day. They've got to watch a few games, and starting to figure out what you can and can't do on this field, especially with all the time that they've spent on it practicing now. You know, and then in addition to having intelligent players, you know, this is what we expect to see out of Impact this year. You know, it's just a question of whether or not they can do it consistently.
Got about 10 seconds to go for the start of what could be the last point of this game. Next up, Tampa Bay Damage going to be taking on Chicago Aftershock. And right after that, Omaha Vicious will be playing Impact. And you know Vicious has got to be out here scouting this game right now.
Yep. Stillwell getting a spin for Edmonton Impact. Goes all the way to the mini race bunker on the break. Justin Rabakov down to the snake side corner. Moscow Red Legion decides to second Viernikov into that snake side corner. He gets picked off.
That's 2 Russian Legion down, so Ryan Moorhead just got eliminated though. He's walking off on the Dorito side, so 4 on 3.
And here comes Moscow. That's on the snake side right there, looking at trying to get a shot on Justin Cornell in the snake, and it looks like he wasn't able to do it. He's into snake 2. Actually, he's past snake 2. He's in snake 3. Now you're looking at Moscow on the snake side, trying to stop this aggression of Impact, and that's really what they're having a problem with right now. But you know, as they're losing bodies too, it's, you know, Alexander Bernikov, he comes off. Pantaleev, he comes off as well, and so does the rookie Kevin Colloon. And then here comes Greg Sewers. Is that Greg Sewers?
No, that was Zane Yakmek.
Zane Yakmek. They have similar hair.
Yeah.
So Dave Baines in his 45 pot. My God, Dave Baines is carrying a lot of paint.
Yeah.
But that's that pressure we talk about.
He's putting the first 10 to use
Yeah.
early and often. You know, got 20 pods, but I mean, he makes his money with those first 10 balls.
Yeah, so there's Stillwell coming off for Impact, and gonna have to say congratulations to Edmonton Impact as they are able to defeat Moscow Red Legion, who really not able to get anything done over there. It was all Impact towards the, you know, pretty much after the first couple points.
Yeah, I mean, they kept it close early, but I mean, it just didn't really seem like Moscow Red Legion, you know, kind of like some of the games that we saw this morning out of Excessive. It's like they were getting the spots, but there was no like team play. There was no coordinated effort to make a move, to attack together, to set something up and go. Or, you know, if you're not getting that, then you need big plays out of individuals. And we didn't see either of that, you know, coming from Moscow Red Legion or from Excessive this morning. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, you know, because Moscow Red Legion is also a team that's known for making good adjustments. So with this game under their belt against, you know, one of the better teams that they're going to play, obviously, we'll see how they go back and talk about it. I mean, they're going to play Aftershock next, who's never an easy game. You know, I can tell you from experience playing that team last year a couple times, they're going to bring you everything that they got. But, you know, Legion, they still have to play Shock. And then they play Vicious, which is going to be a good game. And then Damage. So, I mean, Legion's got a pretty tough schedule there as well.
Yeah, it's kind of a story often told this year, man. A lot of good teams. And we're going to be right back after this. Do not go anywhere.
ANSgear.com has the world's largest inventory of paintball equipment, including guns, masks, loaders, paintballs, tanks, and clothing. With free shipping on all orders over $100. Shop now at ANSgear.com.
Are you ready to be a national champion?
Don't miss the NCPA High School National Championships this April and your chance to be televised on CBS Sports.